Good morning and welcome to my channel, The Fruitcake Astrologer, where I will give you an astrologer's take on current events and people in the news. So, wow, this big YouTube outage that happened a few days ago really kind of piqued my curiosity. And this is a huge company. They've got mirroring, they've got, everything, that the whole thing would come down for a couple hours. I've heard anywhere from an hour to 2 hours. Worldwide, it also took down, I heard Gmail, Snapchat. What could do that? So I went searching around the, social media, and there's no explanation that I can find. I listened to this one guy who's got a big channel, and he said he's noticed, YouTube is back up, but the processing times on his videos have gone way down. It's almost like, they're up, but they're limping along. So what in the world could take out YouTube on a worldwide basis? And I was, thinking about it. I thought, wow, it could be like an employee, with malicious intent. It could be a foreign, like China went in and hacked YouTube. It could be the feds came in and, said, shut it down. And I started wondering, what was that about? So I did a chart. This is called Horary Astrology. I get to ask the cosmos a question, any question. Now, if you enjoy these readings, I hope you'll like, share, and subscribe. And you can also find me on these other social media platforms. Okay, so let's take a look and see what this chart has to tell us. Now, you'll notice the late stages of Aquarius rises, and I think that's okay because it says this is already a done deal. And we are looking in the past. Usually when we're doing Horary charts, we're trying to read the future, but this particular one, we're trying to read the past. So yes, we know it's already been decided. Now that makes Aquarius the chart ruler, and it's retrograde, meaning we can't use it as a significator, so we need to use the moon. Now the moon is in the 9th house in Sagittarius, and oh my, what a strong 9th house reading we are getting. Why do I say that? Because the moon is in the 9th house. The moon is in Sagittarius, which is the 9th house's natural ruler. And Jupiter is in the 11th house conjunct Pluto, and Pluto rules the 9th house. So we're getting this big round robin saying, hey, 9th house, 11th house, 9th house, 11th house. Now the 11th house rules the government. So already I'm getting kind of like maybe the government was involved here. Now, we live in crazy times. We live in the middle of a contested election. Yes, I know the mainstream media has called it for Biden, but the truth is it's not over, and there's 6 to 8 states, I don't know. Anyway, in the middle of a contested election. I find this interesting because the 9th house rules politics. The 9th house rules the Department of Justice. The 9th house rules publishing, which is part of big tech, right? They're basically big publishing companies. It rules foreign actors. Now, I toyed with the idea that maybe China did this 9th house, right? But we are looking at something that is passing away, right? So the moon was last over the sun, and the sun rules the 7th house of legal issues. Right? Legal. Now, arguably, the 7th house also rules open enemies, and we could argue that China is one of our open enemies. But it's looking more government to me here, a legal process. Now, look at the moon ruling the 6th house of employees. And the moon's final aspect is a square to Neptune in the 1st house. Does this point out to me that a whistleblower went to the Department of Justice, moon in the 9th in Sag, somebody who had a sense of justice. Jupiter rules justice. And went to the DOJ and said, I think something's going on. Something, that YouTube, 1st house, is being deceitful. Now, look at how the chart is describing YouTube. With Neptune retrograde in the 1st house, and the part of fortune in Pisces becomes a part of misfortune. This says to me that maybe they were doing some deceitful things. Now, the second big read I get is money. Money, man, it's everywhere because the chart ruler Uranus is in the sign of money, Taurus, in the second house of money retrograde. Okay, that's the first indication. Whoa, this is about money, right? The second is the partile square between Venus in the 8th house of money, squaring Pluto in the 11th house. Okay, so we're getting a very strong financial read. Of course, Pluto is a natural ruler of the 8th house. Now, how does YouTube make its money, right? We know they make it through ads, and anybody who was, paying any attention to YouTube got blasted with political ads for the month before the election. I mean, it's big honking money for them. I mean, that's big honking money for them. So notice Venus rules the 3rd house of communication. To me, I wonder if this has to do with the money that YouTube was making from political ads or ads. And, maybe it's not political. Maybe I'm overreading the 9th house. But the ads, they were taking revenue and maybe not playing the ads. I mean, how could you prove it, right? So maybe a whistleblower came through and said, hey, YouTube's doing some rotten stuff, taking money for ads and maybe not doing honorable things with them. Why do I say that? Because the moon's final aspect is a square to Neptune retrograde in the 1st house, which describes YouTube as being not terribly honest. Okay, so my best guess, guys, is that this is about money. This is about power, which makes me think it's the elections involved, right? Elections are all about power, right? And that maybe YouTube had a whistleblower and that the feds came in and seized servers. Now, that would explain to me why these big YouTube sites are seeing slow performance, taking a long time to process their videos because they came in and they just said, shut it down and seized several servers. Now, the techs, of course, routed around the servers in about an hour and a half, 2 hours. But you would notice a performance degradation until those servers could be configured and put into place. So it kind of fits to me that what the chart is telling me with what we know. So that's my best guess, guys. Time will tell. And of course, I could be completely wrong, but that's what the chart says to me. If you enjoy these readings, again, I hope you like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for listening.